Team, happy Monday. If we've not met before, I'm Katie, helping you navigate the Dubai property market. This session, guys, is for my capital appreciation Andes. For those investors that come to me every single week saying, Katie, I want maximum capital appreciation. What have you got for me? This is exactly what I would be doing with the capital right now. If you have over 100,000 Great British pounds to invest and you're looking for the highest capital appreciation play, this is exactly what I'd be doing with it based on the numbers. I'm a numbers-based investor. I'm going to go through all the market information, all the market insights, project details, most importantly, the numbers, the capital growth, why it's happening, how it can happen, and how you can get involved. Guys, the Dubai market is on fire, but you have to be looking in the right places. So if you are looking for the highest returns in terms of capital appreciation, stay with me. This is definitely going to be one for you. When a client comes to me looking for maximum capital appreciation, I take it right back to the figures. I do a lot of analytics at the numbers and what's going on in the market. And quite honestly, I can tell you, villas is going to be a hit every single time. You jump into and Google anything about the Dubai property market right now, you will see hit after hit after hit. You will see eye-watering amount of capital appreciation. And some of the headlines genuinely seem too good to be true. I'm here to tell you it's honestly possible with the right projects, with the right developers, but that's why you're on this channel. That's why we're going through where you can see these hotspots and how you can identify them, how you can get involved. But there's not enough people talking about the Dubai property market, talking about what is possible over here and how you can get involved as investors. Why are we seeing 32% rise in villa values last year? Let's take this back a step, because this comes down to the Sheikh's vision, the Sheikh's plan, and what is going on in Dubai in general. And I think this is really, really important for us to just loop back. Let's do a quick history lesson of exactly what's going on. Dubai was an oil city, an oil town, and the leader at the time knew this oil is not going to last forever. We need a vision, we need a plan, because this oil is going to run out and then would be stuck. So the leader at the time created this motto, this vision for Dubai, saying, I want to create the best city in the world. They really lent into the narrative. His son, who has taken over since, has lent into it even more. And quite honestly, everything they do is driven by this mission to make Dubai the best city in the world. They know in order to do this, they need to attract wealth to the country. They need to attract top-tier talent. So everything they do in Dubai, you will have seen so many different initiatives. They make investing easy, they make it simple, they make it transparent, they make it safe, they make it secure, they've got free zones so people can bring the businesses here. They eradicated tax, meaning there's a huge financial uplift to anyone wealthy moving over here. It's an immediate incentive to bring those wealthy people in. They created business-free zones, made investing very easy, created the REST app, so not only is it easy, but it's also safe and secure, because they can't afford to have any issues for investors. They want to create this paradise because they know in doing that, they're going to attract investment. Not only that, they brought out the visa initiative so that actually people get benefits from investing here. You get preferable rates, you get discounts, you get all this good stuff. What a concept. A lot of countries all over the world could take a slice of that action, because when you compare it to the likes of Europe, UK, where I'm from, I've invested there myself, where the governments are making it harder and harder, where rates are getting more and more, where profits are getting less, where legislation's becoming more, and all these other countries seem to be making it a lot more difficult for a lot less profit. Dubai have flipped that switch on its head. They have said, not only are we going to make it easy, we're going to make it truly irresistible so that we can bring the wealth, the jobs, the businesses that we need to create this city into the vision that we want it to be. And in all these incentives that they have created, in the way they have structured the entire city, the legislation over here, everything, they have created an investor's paradise. They have people pouring into this country, both investments, both moving here. This year, to date, in Q1, there was 1,000 people moving to the country every single day. That is a phenomenal amount of population growth. Their main aim and main vision is to double the population growth by 2040. So there's a lot for them to do to get to those milestones and to hit what's going on. And in creating all these incentives, yes, it's becoming a magnet for wealth. It's becoming a magnet for businesses, opportunity. and attracting all these people in. So naturally, when you have a population which is ever expanding and a housing market that can't compete with that, that is where these types of figures are coming into play, because we've got a huge amount of supply coming into the market, both from people moving here, but also, not only that, it's a holiday destination, 18 million visitors every single year. All those people need a place to stay. Only 40% of those visitors stay in hotels. The rest, they're staying in Airbnbs. Again, affecting this whole sliding scale. So when we see so many properties coming to market, I'm here to tell you, when we look at the numbers, the pure demand coming into the market way outweighs it. And that is why capital appreciation has soared. That is why the rental returns over here has soared accordingly too, because all these people coming in, they're also looking for places to rent, they're looking for places to live, and that is where investors are winning. That is why we're seeing such a high increase in terms of your capital values, because there's a massive demand and the properties handing over aren't keeping up with the amount of demand that they have, hence why the capital appreciation is so good. So last year when we were looking at capital appreciation, on apartments you were sat at 23%, a phenomenal figure. Tell me where else in the world you can see that. However, when you look at the villas, we were looking on average across the whole of Dubai at 32%. Now, from the figures point of view, if you're looking for a capital appreciation play, that is what I'm going to suggest. Now, why has that happened? I'll tell you exactly why. It always comes back to the fundamentals of investing, demand and supply. This is the same all over the world, all over the country. Demand versus supply. Now, villas have capital appreciated at a higher rate than apartments for one reason and one reason only: there is not enough supply. Only 4% of the current market in Dubai is villa opportunities. Teeny tiny percentage. And think about the types of people Dubai are attracting right now, especially with the tax-free, the lower business rates, all that good stuff. It's attracting wealthy business professionals, which in turn attracts families. All these wealthy people that are coming over, naturally they're going to want space, especially if they're bringing families, they're bringing staff, they need space. So naturally they want villas. Makes sense, right? In the midst of COVID, this trend was exaggerated even more. Everyone in apartments were realized they actually want a lot more space. Again, more and more people wanting villas, wanting more space in the city, hence why the demand's going up even higher. You've got the more people coming in and the supply just is not there, 4%. Hence why when you're coming to sell your villa, you can start to dictate the price, because it becomes a seller's market. Whoever's going to pay the most for it, and especially when you're looking at end users who need to move their family here, they have to start paying these rates. And that's why we've seen an incredible growth. So for me, if you're looking for purely the capital appreciation play, all day, every day, I would suggest we look down the villa path. The launch market in Dubai changes every single day, I'll be honest with you, because there's launches here every 18 hours, not in the villa space, but across Dubai in general, there's launches here every 18 hours. So giving you live update information can sometimes be very difficult, because it will be here today, gone tomorrow. Because villas are in so much supply, when they come, when they launch, they sell out on launch day. So we have to have this conversation before a launch day. However, I'm very much a visual-based person. I wanted to bring to life an example for you so that we can actually roll through the numbers so you can actually see what this looks like, so you know how this could play out. So today, as an example for you, I'm going to use the Polo Club as an example. The reason I'm going to use this as an example is it's a fantastic community, and I've got a whole video that goes into the specific of the location, its makeup, the people behind it, all that good stuff, and I will link that video below so you can really start to see. But I more want to use this as an example as the concept, because if you buy into the concept of what this does, we can talk units, projects, of what's available at the time. That's what our consultations are for. So if you want that chat, if you want to chat all things property and to bring you up to speed with what's actually live in the market at any one time, use the links around this video. But the Grand Polo Club is a fantastic example. It's launched this week, but there's going to be multiple phases at this launch. It's a brand new master community by Emaar. You can see it's strategically placed between the old airport and the new airport. Dubai is moving more and more south as we start to see the launch of Jebel Ali. We've got the new airport coming in, so more and more development is starting to shift this way. It is a fantastic product. Again, as I said, I've got a video that goes into the specifics, so if you do want to talk all things architect, design, visionary behind it, go ahead and jump to that video. But I know a lot of you here are investors, okay? We make numbers-based decisions, so as pretty as the brochures can look, let me jump into the good stuff, because that's what we're here for, right? So let's bring this to light with some real numbers, real figures. Let's go. The launch this week, they had villas starting at 6.6 million AED. For my Great British team and viewers over here, I've always got the Great British alternative, which is kind of live up to date as today's exchange rate goes. However, right now for my Great British guys, there's never been a better time to get involved. The pound is the strongest it has ever been. So technically, you're getting a discount right now. Let's jump on that. Side note. With every single developer, they will offer different payment plans. EMAR is a government-backed developer, meaning safety-wise, you're safe all day, every day. They, as developers, always offer an 80-20 payment plan, which looks a little bit like this. On booking, you will put 10% of that value of the property down. This is a starting villa at 6.6 million. In the villa community and townhouses, I've seen launches as low as 3 million AED for a small townhouse, right the way up to hundreds and thousands and millions of AEDs. This can really be as affordable or as expensive as you want to make it, but this is a really good idea in terms of an entry point. 6.6 million, so you would need to secure that booking on reservation, a 10% down payment plus your 4% DLD. This is your stamp duty. This is your Dubai land department fee. It's a flat fee on any purchase you make over in Dubai. EMAR then have a policy where 30 days from the booking, another 10% is due. After that, you're popped into a payment plan. So over the 4-year construction period, again, every single developer will offer different payment plans, different construction lengths, all that good stuff. Every 6 months, you're paying an additional 10%, right the way up to completion and handover, where the final 20% is due. The final payment of any payment plan is usually mortgageable, meaning you can leverage with finance. Now, if you were coming to me saying, Katie, I want to leverage as much as possible, I'd probably not recommend EMAR. I'd probably suggest to you some other developers where we can leverage more cash. EMAR are quite heavy on the payment front, so they're perfect for my cash buyers who are going to be putting the cash down anyway. Now, the great thing about this is you don't need all your cash on day one. You can spread that over the 4-year period, so you know if you're getting bonuses due, if you are getting cash payments. You don't have to have all this cash up front. You can use this as an investment vehicle to set and forget. You buy at today's price. You get to benefit from the capital appreciation on the entire property without having put all the money down. So in that time period, you are going to start to see the capital appreciation from day one. By the time it comes to handover, you'll have made those payments, and typically, especially with the way the market's going, the property value will have already exploded, and I'll go through that in a little bit more detail. Following this example all the way through then, okay, you've paid the property, the keys are now yours. As an investment, we have 2 options as an investor. You can either look to buy something to sell it, or you look to buy something to keep it and rent it out. Let's touch on the rental side of things first. First things first, what can we expect to see on the rental figures of this particular project, for example? Great question. Now, when it's off plan, when you're buying into sand, it's very difficult to know. However, EMAR have a great track record, which makes it a little bit easier for me to gather comparables of similar things in the market as we see it today. I would say this particular project is very, very comparable to the likes of Dubai Hills. So I'm going to use that for us to show you what we can expect to see in terms of the rental income. We go to rents on the 4-bedroom villas in Dubai Hills as an area, go onto the new rental contracts in that area, and you can start to see this is live data of what people are currently paying for a rental of a 4-bedroom villa in a very comparable location. So you can see here it does vary, so you do have to take it with a pinch of salt. You have to understand, okay, well, what's the square footage? This is obviously a much larger unit, hence why the rent's a lot more. If we're looking at a standard 4-bed villa, you can see we're looking at 480 there. You've got a 460, 440, 460. I think 460 would be a very reasonable figure for us to use in this example. So let's pop that in and see what it looks like. Okay, so we've got our expected rental income in there, minus your service charge. The service charge here is expected to be 6 AED per square foot. I've already put in what that size of this particular villa is. That works that out for us. So that is going to include all your service charge costs for the grounds, the facilities, the clubhouse, the running tracks, the paddle courts, all the amazing things that come alongside buying in an Emaar community. The pools, the lifeguards, the staff, all the good stuff associated with it. Because I want to make sure that we're looking at net returns so that you can actually compare apples with apples. So the net returns here, net yields, is 6.62. Now remember, this purchase would qualify you for a visa, which means this is tax-free income. So you are talking net figures here. Now that is taking rents live today. In reality, this community, if anything, is going to be of a better standard. It's going to be in 4 years' time when rents typically increase about 10% a year. I would say it wouldn't be crazy for us to easily put this as a 5, and you can start to see what your net yields are going to look like by the time this is handed over and by the time you're in completion. Now that's only one half of your equation, right? You also want to look at your capital appreciation. Now capital appreciation across Dubai, you've seen it on those articles we mentioned. It has been incredible. And that all comes down to that supply and demand. Now everyone's natural instinct, can that continue? Can that still be there? And quite honestly, with the numbers, the data that we have around this, it's only set to increase. However, I'd always prefer to underpromise, overdeliver. So I'm going to start with a 10% example. If capital appreciation across Dubai was only to increase by 10% a year, this is so conservative, I can't even tell you, because Emaar communities typically double by the time you get to handover. But we're going to keep it conservative, because if we're happy with worst case scenario, anything else is going to be seen as a win. Take that 10%, okay? Number of years before handover. We're 4 years away. That means the value of this villa, if you bought this today, is expected to be 9.6 million. That's a 50% increase on cash invested. Now last year it was a 33% increase. Now you can start to see the figures that this starts to create, and it can get really scary, but this is where investors have really won. It's this whole concept of cash invested, because especially when we're using leverage and we're using finance, it means we can secure today and start to receive the capital appreciation on the entire property without actually it being owned yet, because these are today's prices and you're benefiting from the market increases. No one can honestly predict the future. The only thing we can do is spot trends which have been going on in the past. And that is why I want to show you some live examples. If we take this example all the way through of capital appreciation that has happened in other communities like this one. So if we use Dubai Hills as another example. Hills Estate, let's jump into that. So this is taken live data from the DLD. This is live transactions that are going on in the market right now. So if we were to follow this example all the way through, I want to make sure firstly we are showing you the villas, unit type, villas there, and then we'll also 4 beds just to show this example all the way through. Perfect. Now this is initial sale, this is off plan, so it's not a great example to show you here, whereas this one is a Sidra. Now these have been in the market, you'll be able to see the life cycle of what has happened here. Now a Sidra villa, these were purchased off plan by an investor in 2017. They were handed over in 2022, at which point you can see the original buyer actually looked to sell. So say if you bought in 2017 off plan at 4 million AED, that property is now worth 16 million. Let me show you what that breaks down for you. So say we bought that for 4 million, the sale price today is now 16 million. Okay, loan to value on this one. Now with Emaar, you'd have had to put 80% of cash in. So there's not much mortgage going on there. She may have even bought the whole thing outright. You can see the property value increase has been 300%. The net cash profit after you take away what you have put into the deal, that is the cash you are walking away with, which is a 375% return on cash invested, which is honestly mind-blowing. This is why I shout about it so much. This market right now is so hot. And investors all over the world have the opportunity to benefit from this market and everything that's going on here. This will not be the only example of this. Let me go down to the next one and see what we have. A resale. This one purchased 4-bedroom, 4 million, selling for 11 million. We go to the next one. Again, bought for 4 million, sold for 11. We've got another one here. Resale. Bought for 7 million, initial sale off plan in 2021. In 2025, it has just sold for 17.5 million. Again, let's run these numbers through. It was the guts of 730 million in there. It has just sold for 17 million. Okay, you can start to see the figures that these investors are getting in the space of 3 or 4 years. This is the handover date. The numbers genuinely speak for themselves. If you are in the market right now for capital appreciation, all day, every day, the villas are outperforming. And when you look at the history, the background, the types of people that are coming to Dubai, you can understand why. And when you see these headline figures, and it sounds too good to be true, but when you start to dive into the numbers of why this is happening, how this is happening, and where it is in Dubai, you can start to understand why and why it's becoming more and more in demand. If you are looking to make an investment in Dubai, if you're looking for maximum capital appreciation, quite honestly here things come and go so quickly, especially when we're talking about villa launches. They will come, go, sell out immediately. Quite honestly, it's a raffle ticket system and genuinely sometimes pot luck whether you can secure a unit of here or not. But if you're not in it, you definitely can't win it, and that's why I'm here to help you navigate it all. I have the relationships with the contacts, the developers, and able to point you in the right direction, because every single person will have a different priority, whether they're looking to live in it themselves, whether you need a different payment plan. Some people are looking for 50-50, so you can leverage a little bit more cash. Other people are looking to make a cash investment. Everyone has different budgets. So for me to jump on and show you the best project right now is very, very hard to do. That's what our private one-to-one consultations are for. If you want any more support and help in this market, navigating what is hot right now, what is going on in the villa world, and how you can benefit from what's going on in the market, use the links around this video. Book in a one-to-one call. We'll chat through exactly where you are, where you want to be, and I'll identify the right projects that are going to help you get there. Guys, it can feel like a minefield, but my job is to make investing simple, make it as easy as possible for you to jump on into this incredible market and make the most of what's going on here. Hope you enjoyed, hope you found that helpful, and if you need any help, use the links around this video. I will see you on the next one.